Hello, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good.
Hello and welcome to the SC Ballers podcast. I am your host and coach of the Terrace crew, Matt Ricks. We have made it here to head-to-head grand final week in NRL SuperCoach. It is round 26. Although SuperCoaches were dealt a blow last weekend, Adam Dewey, Sam Walker and Harry Grant all going down. But never fear, restings happen in round 27. Or do they? They do not. They happen in round 26. The entire Penrith Panthers team is rested. Viliami Kikau's in hospital. Melbourne Storm are resting a few of their stars. It's hard to run out of team this week. Joining me tonight to break it all down and help you win your NRL SuperCoach Grand Final this weekend. First up, we've got a couple of milestone men. The first one I speak of, he's made his way into the top 1K. It's Coach Cmac Shark Attack. No, Cmac's 86s. I get it wrong every week. Cmac, how are you, mate?
Good. Good week last week. They've been few and far between for a little while, so up and about tonight. 15.36, which was okay. I didn't VC Turbo like your good self, which was a great move, but Reece Walsh did the job for me on Sunday Arvo. I didn't completely avoid the carnage with Dewey, but all in all, really good week. Won my two major head-to-head semi-finals. Bring on grand final week. Let's go.
How are you shaped up for grand final week?
Yeah, look, I've got to play the Smithies, as in Sand and Billy, which isn't great.
Yep.
But 17. I've got 17 warm bodies, and I used my last trade on Dewey last weekend. So it's not great. But look, 17 warm bodies. If I can get my captaincy right, you never know your luck in a big city.
Sandon and Billy better than Brad and Shane, but we'll leave that for later. Also joining me tonight, it's newly minted top 10% NRL SuperCoach, coach at Tubes' Pods. Tubes, how are you, Tubes?
I'm good, Matt. I'm happy to be here. I had a 15.38 on the weekend, so I pipped CMac. And
very nice.
All about the run home challenge. It's good to see him nice and clean shaven because he's going to be having to grow a nice thick goatee pretty soon, coming last in the baller run home challenge. But no, I'm happy to have something to talk about with a bit of carnage this week because I've been in the depths of NFL draft planning and NRL finals planning. So happy to come back and talk head-to-head finals because I didn't make any semi-finals this year, and I'm happy to give out some advice.
Very good, Tubes. You're going to be giving objective advice as someone not playing in a grand final, so we look forward to that. Yeah, I had a 15.98, which was a big week for me. Very happy. I VC Turbo, like you said, Chris. Then I had to sit Tino with the Lomax worries. That I heard Tubes, you spoke about that on the snap as well. That was just a lot of fear mongering by Brian Seeney, aka NRL Physio, I think. No, but he passed on some intel that he had that Lomax was in big doubt, which he clearly was. He dropped to 43. But anyway, in all that, I had to sit Tino, and to get his score as my AE, I had to trade Connor Watson. So he's gone to Teague Wilton, which actually shapes up all right for this weekend. So yeah, very happy with my score. That's good enough to take me up into the top 10, 9th overall. And I'm hoping Turbo can take me up into the top 5 or maybe beyond this weekend. So very exciting. I didn't expect to get back into the top 10, so feeling pretty good. And in some big grand finals, some big cashy grand finals this week, so hoping to take home a bit of coin as well.
How far off the lead are you? What's
284 up to Finn.
284.
So poor old Finn had a rough week. He brought in Dewey, the leader. He was starring on our watch-along on Friday night. Which was a huge success. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. I know it's hard on a Friday night, things to do, people to see, but what a night of footy, Tubes.
Yeah, it was a beauty. Great game, that first one. Couldn't get a better grandstand.
It's one of the greatest finishes in NRL history, maybe the best.
Yeah. And what about I was reflecting on it the next day. Strange had to do it twice, as in he had to win it for him and then had to win it for him again. I can't wait till Kevy Walters picks Billy over Strange for the Australian tour. It's going to be good. No, but in all seriousness, he's put his hand up. That's for sure.
I can't believe I forgot the late breaking news as we go to air tonight on the pod. Gordon Tallis said to be named assistant coach of the Kangaroos tomorrow. So Billy got his way, Tubes. You'll be pleased to hear.
Well, he didn't get culture, but assistant coach is a nice
nice second prize.
Consolation.
Consolation, exactly.
On the plane.
Exactly.
All the best.
Yeah.
Got to give a quick shout out to the player profiles, which have launched on baller.live. Jono spoke very well about them during the week. Go and check out all the base plus power stats on an individual game basis. We are dropping player comparisons, which is going to be groundbreaking. There is going to be some very, very cool stuff in there. We'll let you know when they drop in, but keep an eye out over the next few days or week or so. It's going to be really cool. The baller boffins are working harder than ever before on getting the player comparison out before the end of the season, which is going to help you in round 27 and into finals as well, which is really cool this year. The Run Home Challenge this week, weekly winner Adrian, coach of Archers Champs. Get this, boys, 17.53, if you don't mind. He owns Tallis Tunkin. Bloke can't stop tunning up. And JMK. So a couple of nice little pods there for Arch. He has won the weekly merch pack. Please get in touch, Arch. I don't know if we... Adrian. Don't know if we've got your deets yet, so please let us know. Still looking as well, aren't we, Gramsy, for last week's winner of the merch pack as well. So we'll put out a note for that this week. But yeah, everyone's still eligible for the weekly prize. Obviously, 2 weeks to go in the Run Home Challenge. Lauren leads overall. Coach of Lauren's Broncos. Massive snapper, Tubes. Loves the snap.
Yeah. Shout out to Lauren. I eventually found her team. We were looking for it on the Snap, and we had plenty of people write in giving us advice as how to find it. But she sent through the team. It looks good. I mean, it's Lauren's Broncos, but she's picked the right Broncos. Stags and Walsh been on an absolute tear during this Run Home Challenge.
Yeah, she leads by 83 over Jacob, coach of Knick Knack Paddywhack. Nice name as well. I've been following Knick Knack Paddywhack a bit. He is storming home. He's up into like 12th or something overall as well. So massive finish to the year for Jacob. The season-long league, I'm coming second in this, believe it or not. I guess. I mean, I'm 9th overall, so I wouldn't want to be too far. Wouldn't want to be too far off the lead. But Adam, coach of They Killed Kinney, great name, leads the season-long challenge. Out there. Yeah, they killed. So yeah, he's having a barnstormer. He's 4th overall. He leads me by 109 and 3rd by 137. So. Good work, Adam. And yeah, if I take that home, I'm ineligible. So Adam would win that anyway. I won't be winning any cash prizes, unfortunately. Won't be putting it behind the bar for the Baller Christmas party. All about the balls here at Baller Towers.
I was speaking to the Podfather earlier tonight. He's moved into the top 700. So if I consider him a contributor, that is 5 contributors in the top 1,000, and then myself in the top 15K. So we're doing all right. We're doing all right for our first season launch.
Absolutely, all the baller tools and projections have helped massively. I did want to say, like, Tubes, just on the Podfather, like maybe we might need. He's obviously never coming on the pod. You wouldn't catch him dead on the pod, but we might need like a weekly, just a tip from the Podfather that we just bring to the show. That we can impart wisdom to the audience via the Podfather. Might be a good idea for next year. We'll see. We'll see if the ballers demand it. Then who are we to say no? Yeah.
Now it's out there. It'll be demanded.
The watch along, boys. It's not Thursday this week. It's Saturday. So we thought we went rogue on Friday last week. We're going even more rogue this weekend. It is part of Baller Bash, the first ever Baller Bash down in Melbourne this weekend. Gramsy's coming, Jono's coming, C-Mac's coming, Tube's going to be there. Didn't invite Dan, but that's all right. We're going to be there all weekend in Melbourne. Come say good day. We're going to the Storm game. If you see us, I'm sure we'll have something for you. Or come over a soft drink or a beer and a bite to eat. We can't wait. We're getting out to the Storm game. We're recording at a studio. We're going to do a finals podcast all together, and we're going to do a watch along Saturday Arvo for Raiders Tigers, which has turned out to be a sneaky little big Supercoach game with everyone owning so many Raiders. So.
Oh, it's a great game. And then it leads straight into the Tommy Turbo game, which is suddenly huge for non-Dylan Edwards owners and Tommy Turbo owners. The other thing, since we're in such a long plug mode, Matt, when's the Discord chat coming? Jono's just absolutely frothing for it. He's on the SuperCoach League chats at 5:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. He's just stinging for that Discord to come on.
Mate, I'm pushing hard. I've got got the head baller Boffin. He's working hard on it. We're making it so that to get in the Discord, you have to be a baller. That's all.
Yeah, of course.
Don't want. Got to keep the riffraff out. Ballers only.
Yeah.
So just a bit of a tech hookup, and once that's done, it's ready to go. So we've got all the channels set up. Can't wait to interact directly with the ballers on a way more formal basis. So it's going to be good fun, or casual basis, I should say. Just been able to have a chat, getting in with their guys. Also, Tube's going to be ready for NFL season. We've got EPL just kicking off. BBL's around the corner, so there's going to be plenty. It's not like it's a rush to get out for NRL, but we will be getting out ASAP. I'm getting asked, honestly, 4 times a day about where's the Discord. I shouldn't have mentioned in the first place. But anyway. That'll do us for plugs. Let's get on now to the Baller Blueprint. And this week's strategy segment is what to do with your trades. Obviously, we've been talking about trades a lot lately, but given all the restings in round 26, is it better to put the foot down this week and then with like players like Cleary, ECAT, Kickout, all likely to be back and playing in round 27 now? Can we get away with round 27 not being such a big resting week? And just make sure that we've got a strong team for this week. Chris, I know that you're carrying Kane Bradley as a player this week. Is that correct?
No, not Kane Bradley, but a couple other
the
non-desirables.
The Smithies, correct?
Yeah, Smithies.
But how would you be approaching it with 1 to 2 trades?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think this week you got to strike while the iron's hot. It looks like this is the better of the 2 weeks. Obviously, Penrith will be back on deck next week by the look of it. The big players from Melbourne look like they're going to get they've had their rest this week. Yep. Maybe Money gets a rest.
Munster will have a rest for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Pappenhausen, I don't think will if he's owned. But no, I'd be striking this week. There's some really good options, I think. Especially on matchups. If you were to look at probably the Cronulla Sharks for one, there's a couple of good options there this week, I think.
Yeah, Tubes, I'd want to be taking calculated risks though. So we'll get to all the options in a little bit. Like you said, Chris, Sharks, Raiders, there's a lot of good ones, but I'd want to be making sure that they're definitely turning up next week because like Chris said, there's going to be Munster. We could get Hudson Young, Joe Tarpany, these types who are going to be resting. I still think that we will see some potential other restings, like the Bulldogs even. I know Kickout's not playing this week, but if they beat Penrith, which they almost certainly will, that's third locked up for them. So they can't do any better or worse, and it probably seems like a good opportunity to give them a week off. And so we're talking about guys like Kiraz and Preston and Connor Tracy, all guys who are owned. So how are you approaching it?
Look, I think it's pretty simple. You just play what's in front of you this week. So I think the aim would be to have 17 very good players. All good players. So I'm unfortunately carrying Sifa Talakai back to the bench this week. And I also carry Thomas Cant still. And they're 2 of my 18 warm bodies. So really I'm only factoring in that I've got 16 players. So I'm at least needing to make 1 trade to get to 17 like playable players.
How many have you got left? 3?
I got 2. I got 2 trades left. I used one on Dewey last week. Listen to the snap if you want to hear that saga.
I did. I've seen that. Yep.
But I was talking to the listeners, Matt.
Oh, sorry.
But I think then the only other thing would be if you get a low score early on in one of those first couple of games, you could still make 2 trades. But you're just trying to get your best 17. There's no point, I think, holding a trade and only fielding 17, which include 2 not so good players. And then you're basically losing a score, I think, this week just to try and get one for next week when there might not be as mass resting. So just play what's in front of you. Get 17, 18 solid team this week and use trades if you need to do it.
Certainly, head-to-head grand finalist Cmac, it's a little bit of a different story. You just really want to, if you've got 2 trades left, you're using them this week, aren't you? And then you're probably targeting the big upside guys pending cash.
Of course, yeah. I think that's a no-brainer in the head-to-head finals this week. If you got trades, well done. The fact that you've still got them this time of year, there's plenty of us who don't. If you've got them in your head-to-head, there is so much upside this week. I think there's going to be some serious high-scoring games, given the restings, given the matchups. So I'm sure we'll delve into who, what, where, and when. But plenty of
Just
options.
on a very specific trade out for this week, because people will be looking for cash to win their head-to-head grand finals, and we're going to get to the two big options in a moment when we chat captains. But Dylan Edwards, Tubes, he's 10% traded out already in the top 10%. 1,700 over 1,700 teams. Is he a guy that if you weren't head-to-head focused, if you're overall focused, would you be looking to trade him out just to really, like you said, play what's in front of you this week, versus potentially holding him for a really good score against the Dragons next week?
I think it's an option because someone like an Edwards to Turbo this week, Turbo playing the Dragons, very good VC option. I also then think they play the Warriors next week, but I think it's a day game at Brookie. So I think and Manly won't be resting Turbo, obviously, you wouldn't think, barring injury, et cetera, et cetera. They're still a very, very loose chance, I think, of making the 8. Yeah, I think an Edwards to Turbo trade is possible. But yeah, I mean, you'd want to be looking for someone else that you might be able to trade if possible as well, because I think Edwards is a number next week. But yeah, I'd want Turbo.
Yeah, it would be a hard watch this week, only having two fullbacks when you've got Teddy, Turbo, Drinky, Walsh running out against you. I think I could get around that, and then like Edwards can go big. Obviously, any game is an excellent player, but yeah, I think like you said, I think play what's in front of you, get the upside this week. I think that's a 2 trade. If you've got 2 trades left, I like that. If you got 1 trade left, I think you're going to get more value out of going Drinkwater to someone next week if you can afford.
I don't know. I don't agree. I think the Turbo matchup this weekend is very juicy against the Dragons. The Drinkwater sell next week. Reynolds is on the bench, so Walsh becomes a little bit less attractive. Yeah. Turbo's matchup isn't quite as good as
still good.
But it's not as well. You're getting both if you're getting him this week, but it's not as good as this week. I think you're diminishing that value a little bit. I think that a trade this week for Edwards being out is better than a Drinkwater trade next week, even if you've only got one.
So be happier to be short a fullback next week than short a fullback this week, basically.
Yeah. Because you're getting Turbo.
That's a good way to think about it.
In that world, yeah.
That's a good way to think about it and just frame it for yourself, just to say, okay, well, here would be my 3 fullbacks this week versus here would be my 2 next week versus my 2 this week and 3 next week. So, and just figure out.
Look at baller projections over the next 2 weeks, and genuinely, I reckon the Turbo bring in this week with Edwards out would be better than doing it next week.
We might try and do a little bit of a fullback 2-week projection in some content. Gramsy, write that down. Just to put out for the listeners who are dealing with that, because it is a huge decision, and obviously there's a big chunk of Edwards owners already who are trading him out. So yeah, there's a couple of very good options, and let's get into the options now for captain. And I wanted to start here because Turbo and Reece Walsh are 2 of the big options this week. Walsh is projected 93, coming off back-to-back tons. He's looked amazing, Cmac. You captained him on the weekend. And like we'd spoken about the last couple of weeks, when Reynolds doesn't play, he just has this perfect role where he plays a bit of first receiver, a bit out the back, and it's just conducive to attacking stats.
He's looked amazing. Since those two halves went down for Brisbane, they've just been playing Reece ball, just getting the ball whenever he wants it. Like, I think even on the weekend, just like 4th tackle, he just kicks the ball out. Hunt was blowing up at him, worked out fine, but just he's doing everything at the moment for that side. The worry there is Reynolds been on the extended bench, but he's on absolute fire at the moment. You can't really go wrong. The one thing I will say is on the Cowboys, I actually think they will push back on the weekend. Their last home game up there at in Townsville. So I don't think he'll have it all his own way as much as he has been having it, but seriously, he is on fire. It'd be hard not to have the C on him this week again.
Yeah, if A-Ray doesn't play, he's an amazing VC or C option. Like that Cowboys right edge particularly has been torn to shreds multiple times this year. Even in Townsville, we've seen it as well. So yeah, I'd have no problems captaining or putting the VC on Walsh. I think we've seen it's the ceiling, it's there. I think it's a fantastic option for captain.
I think he's
Tubes.
3. I think he's 3 though in the list. So like everyone's got to have the C on Nicho. Did you watch that Knights game on the weekend? They are horrendous. Adam O'Brien's, if he's not sacked by the weekend, it'll be announced at some point in the next. I think I just read earlier that there's a crunch time board meeting. And
Full support.
Yeah, full
no
support.
No support.
That right side defense is no good. I think Nicho is a very, very big captaincy option, and I think they're on the Sunday. So you're pretty much
2 p.m. Sunday. Good time slot.
You're picking your
You can't not have,
VC. You're picking your VC between Turbo and Walsh. So that's going to be a conundrum for those that do own. And so I own all 3 of those, and I've got Hynes 1, Turbo 2, Walsh 3, and certainly Walsh falls down if Reynolds is back, as Chris said.
Yeah, I think that's the tiebreaker there for YouTube's.
You won't know though by 5:30, I don't think. He might. If he's still in the
24-hour
squad.
cuts. Yeah. I think Reynolds. I agree, and that's what the projections say as well. So Nicho 103. You can't get away from that. Like, he's coming off 145 against the Titans 2 weeks ago. They're minus 19.5 or minus 17.5 this week against the Knights. They're in for somewhere north of 35 points for this match. They've had a bye. It's a day game. It's just got points written all over it. It's hard. It's a hard one to take on. Like, sometimes you don't mind taking on these ones to trying to chase a bit of rank, especially when there's 2 good options in Walsh and Turbo to take him on with. So look, I can't entirely write that off, but I'd be very wary of putting that. So
I'd be needing 120 plus for that VC to not be captaining Nicho. I think even with the free loop. I don't know. I just feel like I'd
take 120 with a free loop, 100%. Money in the bank, Tubes.
That's why you're number 9.
It is interesting, the free loop scenario, because a lot of super coaches will have that this week, and I think anything north of 100, like, it's hard to turn that down. But like, what if Nicho goes down for a 20 or a 30 or whatever?
Better the score you've got than the score that might not come. I see that point of view. Yeah,
people get scared. People get scared of the ceiling, and probably rightfully so. But I think I'll be. It just depends. If Turbo can get 110, then I think I'll bank that. A couple of other options who are in the projected in the 80s. Chris Payne Harsey had 104 on the weekend. Another good performance. Again, I said this last week, but you're probably just looking for fullback ceiling at the moment.
Yeah, look, he scored a try,
Especially
played great. I just think you're 100% right. There's a couple of guys with just a bit more ceiling than Payne Haas. Safe option, but you want more upside right now.
Yep. Karaz Tubes, 83. They've suddenly decided they're playing half Panthers New South Wales Cup and half Panthers Jersey Flag. What can you say there? Like, Karaz is a hard one to captain, I find.
Vice captain, like they're the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Pretty safe, I think. If you don't own Turbo or Walsh, he's a good option. He's back on that right wing. He could easily get a hat trick and absolutely go off this week. So I don't mind it as a play. Like I said, you'd need to not have one of those fullbacks, I think. But I'd certainly take a Kiraz over a Teddy as a VC option this week, with Teddy playing the Storm. So I was just looking around for that centre wing with the upside. I think he's a good one. Thursday
Matt,
night.
has that projection taken into consideration those big changes in the Panthers lineup?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it has. So the total points for the match is still relatively low. It's only 43.5, and it's minus 20. So basically that's just saying that the score is like 32 to 10 or something like that, 32-11. Like, they're the projected points for each team. So yeah, he's still. It's not like a massive. Like, the Sharks are still projected to score more points. Yeah. And so are another team as well. So it's just one of those things. So that's all updated. And then there's pod options. Hudson Young, probably not. Just no ceiling. He'd have to be a VC. Not no ceiling. That's wrong. But just not as good a ceiling. Terrell May, probably not an option anymore. Paps Tubes against the Roosters Friday night.
Nah, I think Drinky's an option as a fullback VC if you don't own Walsh. I know we just talked about the Broncos possibly smashing the Cowboys, but I think the Broncos have still been very leaky. I mean, apart from against the Knights, who I think the Knights have tied the most number of scoreless first halves in the NRL era this year. So you just can't count them as an attacking team. And Cowboys, I think Drinky with goal kicking back, that they've been pretty leaky, the Broncos, for the back half of this season as well.
The final one I just want to drop in here, CMAC, is Jaden Campbell. Now, his projection's only 72. They're outsiders against the Finns. We'll talk a bit about Dolphins conceding to fullbacks later on the last 3 weeks, but Campbell does play a lot like a fullback, much more of a running game than a general halfback. So you'd think he could score very well here if the Titans can get on top and come away with a win.
Definitely. I think he's a good option. Especially in your head-to-head grand finals, last game of the weekend, when you're looking for a Hail Mary, a miracle, he could be your man. So keep an eye on that. If you're in trouble, just keep it in your back pocket for the last game. Jaden Campbell could go huge because, as you said, the Dolphins have been leaking.
The issue with Campbell, because I don't mind it, it would mean that you probably VC Nicho. And you then just would want to check who you could actually drop out of the team if you're going to. So you would be going VC Nicho, C Campbell, probably with the plan that you expect to loop Nicho, and Campbell's your backup option. But if he's your backup option, you need a Tui Simpkins to come in and hope he's not 18th man, but you also need someone as a droppable player at that point. Not as big of a deal if you've got the free loop because you've only got right on 18, but yeah, just worth consideration.
I love that play if you don't own Walsh or Turbo and can't get him in. I love the VC Nicho C Campbell. I reckon that's a sensational play to win your grand final because you covered on you covered on Nicho, but if Nicho fails, you get a good look at it, and then you just got to make sure your team's set up. So I really like that play as a tactic to, especially if you're a little bit sort of behind on the projections, baller projections, obviously. Just got to check that out. I think that's a sneaky little tactic. All right, boys, let's get into now the players, the targets, to who's going to help win you your head-to-head grand final this week. And we're going to go through some teams because we think there are some good teams to target and the best teams within the best targets within there. So we're talking Sharks, who play the Knights, which we've spoken about. We've got the Raiders, who are home to the Tigers. Very tasty matchup. I want to talk a little bit about the Tigers there. The Finns, who play the Titans. That game is 54.5 point total. That's the highest total of the season. It is going to be raining points up there at Suncorp Sunday afternoon. Brisbane Broncos play the Cowboys. Another great. Like, Cowboys have been leaky. We already touched on that. So they're the 5 main teams that we're going to go through to touch on. Now let's start with the Sharks, and there's a big return, Tubes, this week. Our man KL Iro. I don't know if you caught any of that social media content today, but my God, it got me hot and heavy.
I missed it.
I missed it too. I don't know what you're going on about.
Just like a montage of KL back in training, hasn't missed a beat. The guns, like the hair, the salad, just everything, just amazing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I digress. 713K, so he's not affordable for everyone, especially if you're trading out of Garrick or someone. But 1.4% owned in the top 10%, playing the Knights, left centre, low reoccurrence of pec injuries. My God, what I would do for that man in my team this week.
Yeah, I really do like him. Left centre, as you said, up against the Knights. For those that potentially have a trade and get rid of Dewey, it's a small jump from Dewey to KL. You can't imagine he's going to be resting. I really, really like it as an option. The more bargain option is the man outside him, and that's Ronnie Mulatalo. He's been on an absolute tear, but he also, if you could do the double, that'd be nice.
Yeah, the little stack, the left side stack. Yeah, Ronnie gets KL inside him there as well, Chris. The other Shark is Blake Brayley, who a lot of people trading Harry Grant. And let's go there for a minute. Do you think Blake is the best option at hooker versus probably like a JMK? They're similarly priced.
Yeah, JMK was floated, I think, last week. I think it was Dan. He got 100 on the weekend, looked amazing. But given Brayley's matchup, he's been playing really well. He probably needed to freshen up, got it with the bye. I'm expecting him to hit the ground running against the Knights. I really like Brayley. And as you touched on earlier in the pod, Matt, now with the restings in the Penrith game, the Dogs could be resting in round 27 as well if they win. So the Sharks draw might open up even further. So I really like Blake Brayley.
This top four is just blown wide open, and if the Warriors can get beat by the Eels on the weekend, the Sharks and the Broncos are a massive chance to finish top four. So it really is all to play for.
The one thing I'll just mention on JMK is Jono talked about on the snap. He only played 58 minutes, even though he turned up, and Irish Kurt was subbing in at hooker for a part of that game. So whilst he scored well, I think that I couldn't touch him as a bring-in option for these last 2 weeks with a minute's risk.
Unlike Jono to bring up Irish Kurt, that's a strange one.
Yeah, just a little drop in of Irish Kurt.
He gets an Jono gets an automated email on JMK's minutes every week just to check the impact on Irish Kurt. No interest in owning him, just wants to see the impact on Irish Kurt. Appy Coruscant there, Tubes, as well. I'm just looking at the projections. He's got the goal kicking now, 73 projected this week. It's obviously a tough matchup. I think I'd have to go Brayley just for the ceiling there.
Yeah, he'd be a pod option, that's for sure. It just doesn't feel like you really want to be bringing in Appy Coruscant with one of your last couple
I don't want to bring in a hooker. I'd probably just cop the AE. If I'm making sure that I don't take a double AE, I'd probably just cop the grand AE, wouldn't you?
That's what I'm doing. I've got 2 trades and I will not be using one of them on Harry. Yep. I'm just going to be copying that.
Free loop both weeks. You're likely not to have 18 next week anyway, so yeah, I completely agree. You're not going to get the upside. When you got these guys like Kaeliro, Tommy Turbo, Reece Walsh, Ronnie Militalo, just leave me out of hooker altogether. We shouldn't even talk about it now.
If you priced it against, say, Blake Brayley versus Ronnie Militalo, they're similar pricing. Which one do you want for the last 2 weeks? They might average similar, but I'm chasing that upside of Ronnie going 120, 120.
Just worth noting, JMK, 399 plus scores in his last 4 games. So very good form, young JMK. But yeah, the minutes has to be a bit of a flag there. Big early season favourite, Sav, a.k.a. Hot Tamale, comes back in very timely for the Raiders. Xavier Savage gone for the season after impact on his injury in his AC joint there on the weekend. Pretty crazy stayed on. He looked completely gone, but he came off at halftime. 566K, Chris. Just I love Sav, but I couldn't possibly over those Sharks, I don't think.
No, I'd agree. He's not going to be one of the Raiders that'll rest in round 27. So that's
and they got the Fins. And they got the Fins. So Tigers Fins. That's on the tee.
The matchups are great. I think they'll get the win this weekend, and then he'll put most of them in cotton wool for the last week. Look, I just think there's guys with bigger upside. He's coming back from injury. It was a lower leg injury from memory. Is that right?
It was something, like an MCL or meniscus or something.
So I'd love a look before I dived in. I just think there's other guys with far more upside. I think we mentioned them in the Sharks.
Can't see him tipping out Jed Stewart for that left wing, so he might have to go onto the right and be unfamiliar territory.
Surely Jed's the swing man. We'll see what the players say, Tubes.
Yeah, exactly. It depends. The players might demand Jed stay on that left.
Yeah.
He did take
that whole left side will just march into Ricky's office. Jed's staying.
I don't know. You wouldn't want to change too much. They've been looking pretty good, the Raiders. So
they certainly
just slide in on the right.
I can't believe they won on the weekend. 16-6. They had no right to come back there. That was a huge performance. So credit to them. They're a good footy team. What do you reckon, Tubes? There's it's pretty polarising. Will Raiders rest or not this week? One school of thought saying that they had the bye 2 weeks ago, so they don't need a rest. They're obviously locked into top 2. Then the other school, and then in the same school, is they're trying to win the minor premiership, so they're just going to push through. They're playing the Fins next week, Tigers Fins. If they win both, that's minor premiership. And then the other school is yeah, they had a rest, but like, why would you risk injury when it doesn't matter if you win or lose? What do you think?
Well, you mentioned the word school there a few times. And so all I can say is I know a local Canberra teacher that is very strong opinioned that Ricky will not rest. I don't know if he's getting barber mail.
Right.
I don't know if there's other mail coming in, but Ricky will not rest. He may limit minutes in that last round, but he's very firm on it not resting. So I'm going to trust the Canberra mailman and run with that.
Okay.
Not put much more thought into it.
I certainly hope so. I own 4 of them. I actually own 5, including the great Miles Martin, but the less said about him, the better. Yeah, hopefully they all show up in round 27. That would really sort the terrace crew right out. Down to the Finns now, CMAC, and a couple of pod options here. Trey Fuller, 634K, just can't put him up against
Too many other
those
fullbacks.
ones.
Like, you just can't.
And Connolly Lemuelu, who had he's got a projection of 52 in 60 minutes this week. Is worth noting that Fini Fuiaki is out, and when he was out, he did play 80, so we might have to look at those minutes on the projection there. He has shown that he can get over for a meat pie or 3 in a game.
Yeah, look, he's got some upside for a back rower. Look, it's probably a bit like the hooker chat. I just think if you've got trades, you're spending them in those higher scoring positions. So no, I wouldn't be going near Connolly Lemuelu. But if you're desperate late in the week, you need a head-to-head win, and there's a second row spot open for you. There he is.
The only thing I'll say about Connolly and other second rowers is second row is by far the most impacted position this week with E-Cat, Kick-Our. I'm sure there's one or two. Yo. Yeah. So like people. I think I saw someone today in a forum saying their only 2RF that's playing this week is Kane Bradley. So if you're in that position and it's literally another player, I don't mind Connolly. I'm just going to rerun the model as well just to see what his projection comes out with 80 minutes because I think that'll look pretty good. Down to the Titans, Tubes, and these are your boys. Tubes is Titans. They've had enough of being losers. I think on the weekend I put in the WhatsApp group that they're they're the biggest loser franchise in world sport. Results would back that up 100%. They've cleared house. Desi's gone. Big Josh Hannay's in. They've appointed all these other Queenslanders in. They're trying to build a new culture. Can it start this week? Phil Sami.
Yeah, Phil Sami, I think he's always been one of my boys. And he's got a good floor, obviously against the Dolphins with a bit of upside. I'm interested in what's going to happen with Keanu Kinney on the bench again. My man AJ Brimson, he has just been on a tear at fullback and then 5'8". Like he's had great base, he's had good power, and he just keeps getting those attacking stats. I don't mind him if Kinney stays on the bench. I don't mind him as a pod option, and if Kinney starts at fullback, geez, that'd be an interesting play of thinking about going him over a Tommy Turbo or something like that.
Last game of the season, and you need to pull the rabbit out of the hat. You've got a trade just sitting there, and you can go someone to Keanu Kinney. I probably have to make a decision before that because the other teams have played. But yeah, if we get word that he's in, what an option that'd be, Chris.
Amazing. That'd be huge. And what are they? I like the 2 good matchups to finish the season as well. Like Tigers in the last round up at the Gold Coast, I think, as well. So
yeah, massive.
It's amazing. It's a really good shout. It'd be a very, very big pod play, and I don't mind it at all.
Well, so we spoke last week about Turbo playing the Dolphins, and I think fullbacks versus Dolphins last 3 weeks are averaging 150. So
yeah, not too bad.
You know what I'd love, Matt? Next week, you've got a trade left, and it's just Drinky to Kinney.
That could be it.
Just to get it done, just to bring you home for the final week to get you.
Where
over
would
the
we
line.
watch that? Every chance as well, Tubes. That's the very last game. Sure, like Titans are always
it's not.
last game.
I looked up Tigers next week. I think they're on the Saturday, so I think it's a 5:30 game on the Saturday.
Yeah,
something like
hang
that.
on. 5:30 Saturday.
Wowee. That would be something, wouldn't it? I'm already excited for it.
No pledges to bring him in, like Jono was pledging to bring in AJ.
But both of this time the last 2 weeks, I was planning to have all my trades left at the moment, and both weeks I had to trade. So let's just see if I can get through to round 27 with the trade intact.
I just love the vibe picks this time of year. It's great.
Well, yeah, especially if it's to win SuperCoach. Imagine I get to see on him as well. What other fullback matchups look like next week? Broncos got Storm, which could be anything if Storm rests for Walshy. Teddy's got Bunnies.
Yeah, but apparently Trell back. They're all
Cam
back.
Murray's going to play.
Trell's coming back.
They're rolling them all out.
They're all coming.
AJ hat trick.
Yeah, that's what John is saying. Yeah, they're all back. It's a huge grudge. I don't think that's an easy game for Teddy.
I agree.
I mean, and that's without all the cheese gates around him and just everything. It's just going to be a mess, that game, I think.
That's I didn't even think of that. That's crazy. Turbo's got the Warriors. Yes, it's not quite as clear cut as this week. Who's Nicho got? Shut the Dogs, so he won't be an option.
I think you got to bring in Turbo this week if you got Edwards. Like, I just think there's no real clear drinky play next week compared to Edwards to Turbo,
unless it's Kinney.
Yeah, well, if he's starting fullback, but could be good.
The last team to chat about is Brisbane Tubes. Dean Mariner, nah, not having him. Tony Staggs, on the other hand, my goodness gracious, what a beast.
Yeah, and coming up against that left edge of the Cowboys,
right edge
this week. Sorry, no, he comes up against the left edge. Yeah, he's on the right. I mean, both edges aren't great, but he's just been on fire. I really don't mind. Like him and Ben Hunt have struck up a bit of a combination as well. Like I don't know if it's Hunt just getting him earlier ball, but yeah, he's definitely an option. He's a bit more on the expensive side though now, like because he's just had such a good run.
Yep.
He's always threatened Tony Staggs to be a really good SuperCoach player. It's just that sort of base that's never been there. But he looks unbelievable at the moment, just hungry for the football, looking for it. And geez, I wish I owned him. He'd be a great own at the moment.
I own Shibasaki, and you could even say that he could be a buy, but I'd probably warn people. He actually played the last 10 minutes against the Knights on the edge. Played left edge in the second row. I know they had a few injuries and stuff, but probably just because they carried Jesse Arthurs on the bench and then moved him into back row. So I think of the two, of all the outside backs outside of Walsh, I think Staggs is still the big play.
Tell you what, we compare him to Greg Inglis a lot, young GI, but I don't remember Greg Inglis playing on the edge. Tell you that just quietly. Garamac, big shout out. Favourite of the show. We love him. All right, boys, that's it. Hopefully we've given you some gold in there to try and win your head-to-head. A lot of pod options, a lot of gun options. Obviously, we're very, very focused on bringing in the high upside guys for you to win your head-to-head grand final. So best of luck. Gents, we're going to get into our new game, Rugby League 501, and this week we got a SuperCoach spin on it. So without further ado, we're going to get the board up here and get ready to go. Ooh. So this week's before we get started, while we get that set up, I do need to mention the EPL and NFL league codes. So EPL 920230. I had a shocker CMAC on the weekend. How'd you go?
Yeah, same. Those lockouts are killing me. The time.
Cole Palmer injured in the warm up. Oh, thanks for coming.
Nightmare.
61. For
really,
me.
really struggling with it. So I need to sort myself out there a bit better, I think. So we'll see where it lands. But at the moment, really struggling. But looking forward to the NFL, Matt. 920230 for EPL. NFL Tubes 596873. How much NFL content you consume this week, Tubes, in hours or kilo hours?
So it's Tuesday. If we count from Sunday, I'm up to 14 hours, I reckon, in NFL podcast content. Fantastic. That doesn't include scrolling on X and just following Adam Scheffner to see trades and updates.
Fantastic. 596873 for the NFL. Get involved, EPL and NFL. We're going to have more and more stuff coming on those sports as well. We're actually doing a draft league as well, Tubes, and Chris, that should be good fun. Like doing that next week.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Commissioner's been throwing his weight around already.
Yeah. Some big names in that league too, Tubes.
Yeah, there is, and they'll learn who's boss pretty soon. Don't need to worry about that.
I think they know, Tubes. I think they know.
All right, boys. Rugby League 501. Now, for those who didn't hear last week, the rules are very simple. Tonight's topic is players' highest SuperCoach score of the season. So you have to get someone. You have to get someone's. We'll tell you what the score is, and then that will come down from 501. If you go above 180, that's a bust. So you don't want to go 180. So like the year Turbo scored 240 or whatever it is, that will not count. You wouldn't be able to say Tom Turbo from that year. But this is just 2025 players' highest SuperCoach score of the season. We know last week, CMAC, you got yourself into a bit of a pickle by getting too close to zero.
Yeah.
The way you check out is by landing between 0 and -10. Tubes, you are the new entry into this game. CMAC is coming off a loss against Dan, one of the greatest, probably a better comeback than the Raiders on the weekend. But Tubes, do you want to kick us off? NRL SuperCoach highest scores for the year.
Okay, can I just confirm one thing, Matt? Because just to understand, so you said scores above 180 are a bust, but just like hitting a
I know where he's going here.
60, 180 on the dot is not a bust, is it?
180 is perfect.
Okay, well then I'm going to lock in my man, Thomas Turbo Trbojevic, who had a 180 on the weekend.
Fresh off the 180 on the weekend.
Fresh off the 180 on the weekend, which I believe
unless
will
he's
be
had a
his
higher
highest.
score than unless he's had a higher score than
Well,
that.
he had a high one earlier in the year, I think round 2 or 3, but I don't think it was in the 180s.
Let's have a look.
well
It's
done,
up 180.
Tubes.
Well
Great
done,
start.
Tubes. 180. First 180. First ever 180. And it's a bit of a walk-up start there, C-Mac. What do you got in response?
I'm just gonna get on the board here. Kiraz, I think Magic Round he went 150 odd, so I think that'd be the score. So that'll just get me on the board.
Yeah, very
Give me
good.
some more thinking time.
Yeah. It'll be very tactical this game, getting down into that range. Where you can get
if
the
you
sweet
get low,
spot.
it'll be really, really difficult.
Yep.
There we go,
152. Perfect. Good start. All right, Tubes, you're up.
I'll go my other man, Reece Walsh.
Oh, another big one. Some easy ones to kick us off here to get us down into the hundreds.
170 odd.
Unless he went
Couple
higher.
of layups. Nah,
Sure.
I don't think so.
I'll go. We got 147 or something on the weekend.
Nah, yeah, 160,
155.
Yeah, well played.
Leaves you 166 Tubes. All right, C-Mac.
I'm going to go a long way back here. Pappenhausen, I reckon it was round 1. I reckon it was around the 150 mark.
Whoa,
again.
I reckon this could be a bust. He went
nah.
nuclear against Tigers.
170 something, I think, wasn't it? Or
Ooh,
was
I
now
reckon it
you
was
got
180
nervous.
something. I reckon this is busto.
Oh, no.
I reckon, I'm not looking it up, but I reckon this is like 183.
Oh,
he did it against the Tigers in like round 7 or round 8.
Oh, no. I
Yeah,
didn't,
in the
I didn't
day.
factor the Tigers game in. Yeah.
He went massive.
Here we
This
go.
is a big moment. 1, 8,
Oh, no.
2.
Bust.
182. Pappy.
Forgot about that game.
I did.
All right, Tubes has got the boxing gloves out, so you know he's his business.
Yeah, so...
So 166 to 176 to check out here, Tubes.
Yeah, it's a little bit tactical, I think, from here. I think I'm looking for a low hundreds. I'm going to go Mark Nawanganitawase.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He's definitely had a ton.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 124.
I feel like it's a bit more than that. I feel like he had a
That's
game
going
that
to
was
take
a
you
bit
very, very dangerously low,
close.
though, Tubes. 136 or 30. That's going to be very hard
Tubes,
now.
you're very, very low.
All right.
30.
You might have one up the jumper, though, C-Max. So what do you got in response? You need a big one here.
I need a big one here. All right. Ooh. Let's go, Nicho.
Okay, the Prince. He's had some big scores this year. I don't think he's had any 180s, though.
No. There might be a one, maybe a
150 something?
Yeah, maybe. I'm feeling pretty good about Nicho.
He had a
Getting on the board
145,
anyway.
I think, versus the Titans, and he's also had another
that could
big
be his
one.
highest score
I
of
think
the
that's
year.
his highest. Yeah, I reckon
Yeah.
that might be his highest. I've had him for a few big captain scores.
There we
yeah,
go.
145
There we go.
v Titans, round 23 or round 24. All right, 204 C-Max, so that won't get you checked out next time. So,
No.
Tubes, you got 2 hits here to land between 30 and 40.
Okay, so I can only go 10 over. So it has to be
Yep.
between 30 and 40.
Correct.
All right. I am going to go.
Oh, just as a little tip here, Tubes, I would recommend busting rather than going under 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good
okay.
shout.
It's easy to think of the guys with the high ceiling, with the high scores. Not so easy to think of the guys with a top score of 40.
Is there? Am I on the clock? I need
No,
to.
no.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel
yeah,
like
I mean,
should be.
you are, but yeah, we're filling content here, Tubes. What are you looking at?
I'm going to go. I'm not looking at anything. I'm in my thinking. I'm in my thinking phase.
You're in the tank. Yep.
I'm going to go. Arata Mariota.
Arta Mariota.
Arata Mariota.
No, I reckon he's had a 50 for sure. I'll go. I maybe even 60. I'll go 60. His high score, I reckon. What do we got? Producer Graham 70.
70.
Way too
kidding
much.
me.
He's had some big minute games, Arta. That's right. You got another chance there, Tubes, in a minute. Cmac, this is to get you back in it. You need
Yeah.
you need 100.
I don't want to go too crazy here. I want to give myself about two around the 100 mark. I'm going to go Sandon Smith. I know he had a big game. I think it was the Anzac Day, maybe 130. I think that's a good marker.
Oh, I reckon it was bigger. I reckon it was like 150.
Oh, here we go. Jeez. That's fine.
It was a huge game. Because people sat him, remember? Everyone had the choice if like him and Starling.
Yeah.
129.
there you go. 130. I was nearly on the money.
Look at that. 75 to 85.
Oh, I've got.
That's not an easy range, though. That's not an easy range.
75, 70. I've got.
You'll figure it out. I reckon you've got one to win that. So this is a huge dart.
I've got a man.
This is a huge dart for Tubes. I think he's got to check out here.
I'm trying to think. I went the Raiders benchy. I threw a bit of a curve boy at Trent Loiero today. I'm going to go with his teammate Alec McDonald.
Oh, I like this. This feels good.
That feels great, Tubes.
I reckon it's either bust or you've got it. He surely would have got it. He hasn't played many games this year, AMAC. He's starting for Josh King on the weekend, with Jing being rested. This could be very tight. Can Tubes take it out on debut and keep Chris's curse going?
What do we need here? 30 to 40?
We need 30 to 40.
Yeah, sweet.
So a score in the 30s.
Oh, 51!
Get
51. He's bust again for Tubes. Now, CMAC, you need 75 to 85. We told you not to go too low, Tubes.
Yeah,
Chris
I know.
knows this all too well. 75 to 85 to check out here, CMAC. Who have you got to take out your first win in Rugby League 501?
Oregon Kafusi. Sharks front rower.
He would need a try for that.
Yeah.
He definitely has got a try. It's just whether he's fallen in line. I reckon this is not a bad guess. Not a bad guess
I
at
hope
all.
it's not 69 or something at least.
If it's in the 60s, you're bang in trouble. You're going to have to go deep if it's that. Here it comes. Up on the board now. 7.
Get up. Above.
78. Yes! He's done it. He's done it. Well done. Very well done. Good game, boys. Good game.
Well done, Christopher.
Very good. It's pretty good first showing from you. Pretty good.
Amazing.
I think, Chris, that week of experience really put you in good stead tonight.
Yeah, didn't want to go too low. That was the key.
Very well done. Very well done. Tubes will be back bigger and stronger though next week. It's a good game. We'll figure out. We're tinkering with it, trying to find out what works. If you got any feedback for us on Rugby League 501, let us know, and we'll try and sort it out. But it's good fun, boys. That'll see us out tonight. Massive Rugby League game week of Rugby League coming up. Round 26, head-to-head grand finals. I'm pushing for the top 5. You boys are pushing for the high rank, the best ranks, and obviously CMAC, you got your grand finals, big cashies this week, and the listeners. 2 weeks to go. It's been a long season. We've got finals content coming up, and I can't wait to see both of you at Baller Bash. So, CMAC, safe travels down to Melbourne, and we'll have a good one this weekend.
Thanks, mate. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be great fun. Everyone, good luck in your head-to-head finals on the weekend. I hope you can all get some cash and get some fun, and hopefully the footy gods or the SuperCoach gods are nice to us, and we don't have too much carnage.
And Tubes, appreciate you stepping in on. You're on a little away trip tonight, but you've stood up to the plate again. You'll be good for the run at 5:01, and looking forward to seeing you this weekend too.
Yup, yup,